For centuries, Earth maintained a careful illusion in the Galactic Council. The human representatives wore simple clothes, spoke humbly, and presented their civilization as new to space travel. They asked many questions and seemed eager to learn from the older species. Behind this mask of innocence, Earth had been building something in secret. Deep within the asteroid belt and hidden moons of Jupiter, massive shipyards operated day and night. Workers traveled under strict security protocols, their families told they worked on deep space research. In these classified facilities, Earth's true fleet took shape, vessels that combined technologies in ways the Council races believed impossible. Admiralty watched through the viewport as another dreadnought completed its final tests. The massive ship, nearly 2 kilometers long, moved with the grace of a vessel a tenth its size. Its hull absorbed sensor scans rather than reflecting them, making it nearly invisible to standard detection methods. "Impressive, isn't it?" asked Director Park, joining him at the window. "The Council still believes we can barely manage interplanetary travel." Tay nodded. "Sometimes I wonder if this deception is necessary. It's been 200 years. "The histories are clear," Park replied. "Every new species that displayed advanced technology too quickly became targets. The Council claims to welcome all, but the stronger species always find ways to control the newcomers." Their conversation was interrupted by an urgent alert. A junior officer rushed toward them, face pale. "Admiral, we've received emergency transmissions from New Eden Colony. They're under attack." The Situation Room displayed tactical data from the distant colony. The aggressive Vorak Imperium, a species known for testing the boundaries of Council law, had launched what they thought would be an easy conquest against a defenseless human outpost. "They believe we have no significant fleet," Tay said, studying the data. "They expect to claim the colony before the Council can assemble a response force." The room fell silent. Everyone understood what this meant. After centuries of careful secrecy, they would need to reveal at least some of their true capabilities. "Deploy the 7th Fleet," Tay ordered. "Full combat configuration." Within minutes, 12 advanced warships dropped their concealment fields in orbit around Saturn and accelerated to speeds that would have shocked Council engineers. They entered leap space, another technology humans claimed not to understand, and emerged near New Eden Colony just hours later. The Vorak commander was supervising the bombardment of the colony's main settlement when his sensor officer reported unusual readings. "Unknown vessels approaching, Commander. Their signatures don't match any known human craft." The commander laughed. "Probably Council observers. The humans must have called for help." His amusement vanished when the first human warship appeared, its sleek form cutting through space with impossible speed. The vessel was larger than anything the humans were supposed to possess, its hull shimmering with energy barriers far beyond what the Vorak had encountered before. "Open communications," ordered Captain Sunwoo from the bridge of the Earth vessel Defiance. "This is Captain Sunwoo of the Earth Fleet. Your attack on New Eden Colony violates Council law. Withdraw immediately." The Vorak commander's image appeared on screen, his scaled face showing first confusion, then anger. "Humans possess no such ships. This deception will not." His words stopped as the Defiance's targeting systems locked onto his vessel. More human ships appeared, surrounding the Vorak fleet with precise formation movements that spoke of extensive training and experience. "This is your final warning," Sunwoo stated calmly. The Vorak commander hesitated. These ships moved unlike anything in his experience. Their energy readings suggested weapons that could tear through his fleet's defenses with ease. "We were testing your response capabilities," he said finally. "The Imperium recognizes your territorial claim." As the Vorak ships retreated, the communications officer on the Defiance looked up anxiously. "Captain, I'm detecting multiple transmissions leaving this system. Someone is broadcasting images of our fleet." Sunwoo closed her eyes briefly. It was inevitable. The Council will know within hours. Back on Earth, Admiral Tay received the news with a grim expression. He turned to Director Park, who had remained silent since the crisis began. "Contact our representatives on the Council. Tell them to prepare for questions." He gazed out at the stars. "The time for hiding is over." We need to decide how much to reveal, and how quickly. Park nodded slowly. 200 years of secrecy ended because the Vorak couldn't resist testing us. Perhaps it's for the best, Tay replied. The greater challenge is coming. The real reason we built this fleet in the first place. As he spoke, automated systems throughout human space continued their silent vigilance, scanning the darkness between galactic arms for signs of movement. For the ancient threat that had driven Earth to such elaborate deception, the Galactic Council's Grand Chamber had never been so quiet. Hundreds of representatives from across the galaxy sat in stunned silence as the recordings played on the massive display wall. The footage showed Earthships, ships that shouldn't exist, effortlessly neutralizing a Vorak attack force. The human vessels moved with impossible precision, their weapons cutting through Vorak shields as if they weren't there. These recordings cannot be authentic, the Vorak representative finally said, breaking the silence. The humans possess no such technology. All eyes turned to Minji, Earth's representative to the Council. She stood alone at the speaking platform, her simple blue uniform a stark contrast to the elaborate garments worn by most species. The recordings are real, she said quietly. Those are Earth ships. The chamber erupted in overlapping voices. Some demanded explanations, others called for immediate sanctions against Earth. The council elder, a tall being from one of the founding species, raised his hand for silence. Representative Minji, your people have claimed for centuries that Earth possessed only basic space capabilities. Yet these vessels show technology far beyond what you've presented to this council. Minji nodded. That is correct. You deliberately misled this council? We did. Another uproar filled the chamber. The elder called for order again. Why? He asked simply. Before Minji could answer, the chamber's main doors slid open. Admiral Dojin entered, flanked by two other humans in military uniforms. The sight of armed humans in the council chamber sent ripples of concern through the assembly. I am Admiral Dojin of Earth Fleet Command, he announced. I've come to address your questions directly. The elder's expression hardened. This is highly irregular, Admiral. Military personnel rarely appear before this council. These are irregular times, Dojin replied. He stepped forward to join Minji on the platform. The ships you saw in that recording represent a fraction of Earth's true fleet. We have maintained this secret for centuries, not out of hostility toward the Council, but out of necessity. The representative from the Malorian Federation stood up. Your deception threatens the very foundation of trust upon which this Council operates. Admiral Dojin looked directly at the Malorian. When Earth first made contact with the Council, our historians studied the fates of other newly discovered species. Those who displayed advanced technology too quickly often found themselves pressured into unfavorable trade agreements, technology transfers, or worse. That is an outrageous accusation, the Malorian sputtered. The Tanari were forced to share their gravity manipulation technology before they were ready, Dojin continued calmly. They now serve as little more than technicians for the more powerful council races. The Brex lost control of their planetary defense systems after revealing their advanced AI capabilities too soon. Earth chose a different path. The chamber grew silent again as his words sank in. Many representatives shifted uncomfortably, unable to deny the historical examples he cited. The elder spoke again. Even if we accept your reasoning, Admiral, the level of technology displayed by your fleet exceeds what should be possible for a civilization at your development stage. Some of those capabilities shouldn't be possible at all. A small smile crossed Dojin's face. Humans have always been good at connecting dots others wouldn't. Where council species specialized, we integrated. We listened to what your experts said couldn't be done, then returned to Earth and found ways to do it. The display wall changed to show a detailed schematic of one of Earth's warships. Council representatives leaned forward, scientists and military experts among them analyzing what they saw with growing amazement. Your drive systems combine principles that should be incompatible, said the Trell representative, her multiple eyes blinking rapidly. The power distribution network uses concepts from at least 3 different technological traditions. 5, actually, Dojin corrected. Humans are natural borrowers and adapters. The elder returned to the central question. Why reveal this now? You could have assisted the colony without displaying such advanced capabilities. Admiral Dojan's expression grew serious. Because the Vorik attack is just the beginning. We've been monitoring deep space signals for centuries. Something is coming, something the ancient records warned about. The real reason we built this fleet. He nodded to Minji, who activated a data transfer to the Council's systems. These readings come from our long-range detection network, Dojan explained. Massive energy signatures, moving between the galactic arms. According to ancient warnings we discovered in ruins on Mars, they appear every 50,000 years. The council chamber erupted again, this time in fearful discussion. The elders studied the data carefully before looking back at the humans. You believe Earth alone can face this threat? No, Dojan said firmly. No single species can. That's why we're here, to finally tell the truth. Earth's fleet was built not to threaten the council, but to help defend it when the time came. He looked around the chamber. And that time is approaching faster than we expected. Outside the council building, citizens from hundreds of worlds gathered around public displays, watching as humanity's great deception unraveled, and with it, the revelation of a threat that would soon test the entire galaxy. The emergency session of the Galactic Council stretched into its third day. The Grand Chamber, normally a place of measured debate, had become a battlefield of accusations and demands. Ambassador Hannah stood at the center of the storm, facing representatives who had moved from shock to anger. The scale of human deception cannot be overlooked, the Vorik ambassador growled, his scaled face flushed dark purple. For centuries, they have sat among us, pretending to be technological infants while building a war fleet in secret. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber. The elder raised his hand for quiet. Ambassador Hannah, your people's actions have shaken the foundation of trust upon which this council operates. Many representatives are calling for Earth to be removed from the council entirely. Hannah nodded, her face calm despite the tension. We understand the breach of trust. Earth is prepared to accept reasonable sanctions. However, removing us from the council now would be a mistake for everyone. Bold words from a species caught in deception, said the Malorian representative. Why should we believe anything you say now? Before Hannah could answer, the doors to the chamber slid open. Professor June entered, carrying a small metallic cube. The sight of another human in the chamber caused a fresh wave of whispers. This is Professor June, Hannah announced. Our leading expert on the ancient civilization that left warnings about the coming threat. June walked to the center platform and placed the cube on the display pedestal. It activated immediately, projecting images of ruins from across the galaxy, some recognized by council members, others completely unknown. These sites are separated by thousands of light years, June explained. Yet they all contain the same warning, left by different species who encountered the same enemy. We call them the Harvesters. The projection changed to show strange, massive ships with designs unlike anything in known space. Every 50,000 years, they emerge from dark space between galactic arms. They target advanced civilizations, stripping them of resources and knowledge before disappearing again. The Trell representative leaned forward. These are just ancient myths. There is no evidence. There is, June interrupted, adjusting the projection. The geological record on multiple worlds shows sudden, complete extinction of advanced species at regular intervals. The timing matches perfectly with the cycle described in the warnings. The elders studied the data carefully. If such a threat exists, why did Earth not bring this evidence to the Council? We could have prepared together. Admiral Dojan, who had remained silent until now, stepped forward. We tried, in the beginning. Earth's first representatives presented some of our early findings to the Council Scientific Committee. They were dismissed as misinterpretations or myths. The projection showed records of those early council meetings, where human concerns had indeed been politely but firmly rejected. After that, Dojan continued, Earth made a difficult choice. If the council wouldn't prepare, we would. We maintained our public face as a developing civilization while channeling most of our resources into understanding the threat and building a fleet capable of fighting it. The chamber grew quiet as the implications sank in. You built this fleet to fight an enemy that might not exist, the Vorak ambassador said finally. We built it because we couldn't take that chance, Hannah replied. Human history is filled with extinction events and near misses. Perhaps that makes us more cautious than other species. The elder turned to the council's chief scientist. What do you make of this evidence now, with fresh eyes? The chief scientist, a being of living crystal, had been studying the data intensely. It is concerning. The patterns cannot be easily dismissed. If these harvesters are real, and if they follow the cycle shown here, they would be due to return within the next decade. A cold silence fell over the chamber. Then what do you propose, Ambassador? Asked the elder. Hannah stepped forward. Earth opens its fleet records and technology to the Council. We share everything we've developed. In return, we ask the Council races to prepare their own defenses and contribute to a unified response plan. You deceived us for centuries, and now expect us to follow your lead? The Malorian representative's voice dripped with skepticism. Not follow, Hannah corrected. Join. Earth's fleet is powerful, but if the ancient records are accurate, it won't be enough alone. We need the combined strength and knowledge of all Council races. Admiral Dogen activated his own display, showing the current positions of Earth's major fleet groups. The scope of human military power became clear as hundreds of vessels appeared on the tactical map, stationed strategically throughout Council space. Our ships are already in position to defend major Council worlds, he explained. Not to threaten, but to protect. If the harvesters come, they will face a united galaxy, not isolated targets. The elder looked around the chamber, noting the mix of fear, anger, and reluctant understanding on the faces of the representatives. We will need time to verify this information, he said finally. But if what you say is true, Ambassador Hannah, then humanity's deception may have saved us all. Outside the Council chamber, the news spread quickly across the galaxy. Humanity had revealed not just its hidden power, but a threat that would soon test every species' will to survive. The underground research facility on Europa was one of Earth's most closely guarded secrets. Deep beneath the icy surface of Jupiter's moon, scientists had been studying artifacts recovered from across the galaxy for over a century. Professor Minsu moved quickly through the facility's main hall, his footsteps echoing against the metal floors. They've found something, he told Admiral Dogen, who had arrived by secure transport an hour earlier. Something big. They entered a large circular room where dozen researchers worked around a central platform. On it sat what appeared to be a simple black cube, about 30 centimeters on each side. This was recovered from the ruins on Proxima Centauri b, explained Dr. Jaiwu, the lead xenoarchaeologist. We believe it's a data storage device left by the civilization that once lived there. Another warning? Admiral Dogen asked. Yes, but far more detailed than anything we've found before. And it's not just text or images, it contains actual sensor data from their encounters with the harvesters. Dr. Jaiwu activated the device. The lights dimmed automatically as a holographic display filled the center of the room. It showed massive ships, unlike anything in known space, emerging from what appeared to be the dark region between galactic arms. The civilization that created this record called themselves the Eridon, Dr. Jaiwu explained. According to their data, they were one of the dominant species in this part of the galaxy about 50,000 years ago. The hologram shifted to show planets being systematically stripped of resources. Ships that tried to fight were quickly destroyed by weapons that seemed to bend the laws of physics. They had technology far beyond what we have now, Minsu observed. And they still couldn't stop the harvesters. No single species could, Dr. Jaiwu agreed. But the Eridon believed a united galaxy might stand a chance. They created these warning devices and scattered them across worlds they believed might develop intelligent life in the future. Admiral Dogen studied the images carefully. The Council representatives are still debating whether this threat is real. This evidence would convince them. There's more, Dr. Jaiwu said, her voice growing quiet. The device contains coordinates, the exact location where the harvesters will first appear when they return to our galaxy. The hologram shifted again, showing a star map with a pulsing light marking a specific location in deep space. That's less than 50 light-years from the Arcturus colony, Minsu realized. Dr. Jaiwo nodded. And according to the Aridon calculations, the harvesters should return within the next 6 months. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. 6 months, Admiral Dojin repeated. We were expecting years, possibly a decade. The Aridon timing calculations are precise, Dr. Jaiwo said. We've verified them against astronomical records from multiple worlds. If they're correct, we don't have much time. Their discussion was interrupted when a young officer burst into the room. Admiral, we're detecting unusual energy readings from deep space. They match the patterns described in the ancient records. Dojin's face hardened. Where? Near the coordinates you just saw, sir. Something is happening at the exact location the Aridon predicted. The Admiral turned to Minsu. Contact Earth Fleet Command. All ships on high alert. Then get me a secure line to the Council Elder. Within hours, the news had spread across Earth's secret command network. The ancient enemy, the threat they had prepared for in secret for centuries, was finally showing signs of return. And they were coming much sooner than expected. On the Council homeworld, the Elder was speaking with Ambassador Hannah when the message arrived. The other representatives had been debating Earth's deception for days, with many still calling for sanctions or even expulsion from the Council. This changes everything, the Elder said after reviewing the data. If these energy signatures match what your scientists predicted. They do, Hannah confirmed. And we've detected more since that message was sent. Something massive is entering our galaxy exactly where the ancient warning said they would. The Elder called for an emergency session. When the representatives gathered, the mood was tense and uncertain. We have confirmation, the Elder announced. The threat the humans warned us about appears to be real. Energy signatures matching the ancient descriptions have been detected at the precise coordinates predicted in their records. The chamber erupted in fearful discussion. The Vorak ambassador, who had been among the loudest critics of Earth, looked stunned. How long do we have? He asked. According to Earth's scientists, less than 6 months before the first harvester ships reach populated systems, the Elder replied. Ambassador Hannah stepped forward. Earth has been preparing for this moment for centuries. Our fleet is ready to move immediately to the predicted entry point. We can establish a defensive line that may delay their advance. And if Earth's fleet fails, asked the Malorian representative. Then we need every ship from every Council race to form the next line of defense, Admiral Dojin said as he entered the chamber. This isn't about Earth anymore. It's about the survival of all intelligent life in the galaxy. On viewscreens across Council space, citizens watched as the largest fleet movement in galactic history began. Earth's hidden armada emerged from secret bases throughout human territory, joined by vessels from species who had chosen to believe the warnings. They moved in formation toward the dark region between spiral arms, toward an ancient enemy awakening from its long slumber. The combined fleet of the Galactic Council hung in space like a metal constellation. Over 10,000 ships from 30 different species formed a defensive line at the edge of the Arcturus system. At the center of the formation, the largest vessels bore the simple insignia of Earth Fleet Command, ships that until recently, most Council races hadn't known existed. Admiral Hyun stood on the bridge of the Indomitable, Earth's flagship and the largest warship ever constructed by human hands. The massive viewscreen showed the gathered fleet stretching across space in a carefully planned pattern. Final reports from all fleet groups, his communications officer announced. All ships in position and ready. Hyun nodded, his face revealing none of the tension he felt. Just 2 months ago, many of these species had been calling for Earth's expulsion from the Council. Now they fought side by side, united by a threat greater than their differences. Message from the Council flagship, the officer said. The Elder wishes to speak with you. The Elder's image appeared on the screen. Unlike most of his species, his age showed in the faded color of his scales and the wisdom in his eyes. Admiral Hyun, our deep space sensors confirm your predictions. The first wave of harvester vessels will arrive within the hour. We're ready, Hyun replied simply. I must ask once more, are you certain this strategy is sound? Concentrating our forces here leaves many systems vulnerable. The harvesters don't spread out, Elder. They move as a unified force, stripping worlds one by one. If we stop them here, we stop them completely. The Elder nodded slowly. Then we place our trust in Earth's experience. Your people have studied this enemy longer than any of us. The communication ended, and Hyun turned to his tactical officer. Status of the civilian evacuation? Complete, Admiral. All colonies within 50 light-years have been temporarily abandoned. No civilian targets remain. This had been the hardest part of the plan to implement. Convincing billions of people to leave their homes based on an ancient warning had required all of the Council's authority. Some had refused to believe until the energy signatures from deep space became impossible to ignore. Contact Rear Admiral Jean. Her stealth group should be in position behind the arrival point. Jin's face appeared on a secondary screen. Her smaller fleet of specialized ships had been positioned where the harvesters were expected to emerge. All ships dark and ready, she reported. No signs of detection. Hyun checked the time. 20 minutes to projected arrival. All ships, final preparations. Throughout the massive fleet, crews made last adjustments to weapon systems and shields. Unlike the disparate technologies normally used by Council races, many now incorporated emergency upgrades based on Earth's hidden advances, distributed shield harmonics, phase-shifted weapons, and communication systems resistant to known harvester jamming techniques. Energy spike detected, announced the science officer suddenly. Massive distortion forming at the predicted coordinates. Space itself seemed to fold as the first harvester ship emerged from between the galactic arms. It was enormous, nearly 15 kilometers long, with a design like nothing seen in Council space. Its surface was dark and textured like volcanic glass, absorbing light rather than reflecting it. More ships followed, each slightly different but all bearing the same alien aesthetic that had haunted ancient warnings for millennia. "They're beautiful," whispered someone on the bridge. "Count now at 37 harvester vessels," reported the tactical officer. "No signs they've detected our fleet yet." This was the advantage Earth had counted on. According to the ancient records, the harvesters typically emerged expecting no resistance, taking time to orient themselves before beginning their systematic attack. Hyun opened a channel to the entire fleet. "All ships maintain position. Let them fully emerge before we engage." More harvester ships appeared until over 100 of the massive vessels hung in space, forming their own pattern as they oriented toward the rich systems deeper in the galactic arm. "They're beginning to move," Jean reported from her hidden position. "Power signatures increasing." Hyun took a deep breath. Centuries of preparation, of secrecy and deception, had led to this moment. "All ships, execute attack pattern Alpha. Stealth group, begin your run." Throughout the fleet, engines flared to life. The carefully hidden armada suddenly revealed itself, catching the harvester fleet in a massive pincer movement. Jin's stealth group struck first, targeting propulsion systems with weapons specifically designed based on ancient records of harvester vulnerabilities. On the main harvester vessel, alien sensors suddenly detected the massive fleet surrounding them. For the first time in countless cycles of harvest, they faced a galaxy united and prepared. Earth's flagship moved forward, leading the main attack group. Weapons that had been developed in secret for centuries opened fire in perfect coordination with vessels from across the Council. The harvester ships, designed to attack worlds unprepared for their coming, found themselves caught in the most extensive trap ever laid. "All fleet groups engaged," reported the tactical officer. First harvester vessel showing shield failure. Admiral Han watched as the combined fleet executed maneuvers practiced for months. Ships from different worlds moved in perfect harmony, protecting each other's weaknesses, exploiting the harvesters' blind spots. "This is just the beginning," Hyun said quietly. But for the first time, they face a galaxy that was waiting for them. On view screens across Council space, citizens who had fled their homes watched as the United Fleet fought not just for Earth or individual worlds, but for the future of all intelligent life. The secret fleet that had once caused such anger and distrust now formed the vanguard of the galaxy's defense. Humanity's hidden gift finally revealed when it was needed most.